Hello and welcome to the Open News, the weekly show where we cover all things open source and tech. In today's episode we have some really interesting stories. We have everything from Ubuntu adding a minimal install option to Wine staging being discontinued. All that and more right now on Linux Lounge. Well, first up we have this. Ubuntu adds minimal install option to installer. Well, this is interesting. Ubuntu 18.04 will add a minimal install option in the Ubiquity installer. Basically what this will do is install Ubuntu but with fewer programs and the like out of the box. Apparently you'll get your desktop, a web browser, core system tools and not much else, which the benefits of this aren't really huge. You won't be saving huge amounts of space or anything, but I can see this being useful for people who like to build their own system with the exact software they want. Think of this as Arch for absolute new users. But either way, this sounds like it could be a useful new feature and I can't wait to give it a shot. Well, next up we have this. Ubuntu wants to collect data about your system. Well, this is somewhat unfortunate. Basically what this is Canonical plan to collect information from users' computers, mainly during the install process. This information ranges from the hardware Ubuntu is being installed on to how long the install took, among other things. The data collection doesn't stop at the install though, sadly. This data collection would also extend to the software that's being used on the system and for how long it's being used, among other things. Now, thankfully this data collection can be opted out of. Now the reason for this data collection is supposedly to improve Ubuntu, which I can somewhat believe. After all, Linux doesn't have any real statistics on how it's being used or who's using it. But I've also seen many people in the community who believe that this is nothing more than a gateway to collect more user information, such as more in-depth computer usage to Windows 10. Personally, I think we're just going to have to see where this goes and hope for the best. But either way, I don't think any information should really be collected like this. Well, finally we have this. Wine staging is no longer putting out new releases. Well, if you've been using Wine recently, you may have noticed that Wine staging hasn't released anything since 2.21. Well, that's because the development team that were working on it no longer have time to provide updates and new releases, which is understandable. Now, it's a shame to see this modification of Wine go, since many games and other software actually required it. Although, actually, with that being said, it may turn out alright in the end because there are already forks of Wine staging bringing it up to the newest Wine versions. We'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully this project does continue, just with another development team behind it. Well, that's all we have time for today. Please like, comment, subscribe, and press that little bell icon to get notified of new uploads, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.